Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Beacons Are Lit, a Lord of the Rings podcast. This one continuing our coverage of the Two Towers. This is episode 7 of the Two Towers coverage. I'm the host, Mike Warback, and today I'm joined by Kelly Conrad.
Howdy.
Stacey Lyons.
What's up?
And Matt Guerin.
What's up, Mike?
Hello.
Let's respond in ways that we never do.
The Fellowship has rejoined to
right?
continue our coverage. I don't really have any news. I don't think that there's been anything new released on the Rings of Power series. There was the...
Did we talk about the trailer last episode?
I can't remember if we talked about it or not. Oh, there was a Q&A that's supposed to happen tomorrow. Friday with the cast. It's going to be live streamed. So I'll try and include the link to that. I think it's free. So you can kind of check in with the Rings of Power cast and see what they have to say about the show. And the trailer, I can't remember if we talked about it last time, but I feel like we did because I think I was excited and no one else was, which seems to be the case with this show.
Yep.
Kelly?
I hadn't watched it. So I watched it, I believe, after our last episode. And yeah, I have some very general thoughts.
We talked about it. I think you had watched it. We definitely talked about it. I'm remembering everything I said right now.
Okay. I don't think I watched it, but that's okay because I don't even know what this show is supposed to be about. So I don't have any
Isn't that what you
valid
said?
feedback.
It,
Did I? If so.
I think it's in Slack. I think it's stuck.
Yeah, but I think I said that in the Slack. I didn't say that in our episode, but I could have. I truly don't remember what happened last week.
After watching it, what thoughts do you have?
That I don't know what the show is supposed to be about. It's like so vague and general. There are too many groups of people.
Hey, do you need to know what a show's about though in order to like be hyped on the trailer? Because I don't know. Oftentimes I'm like more hyped if I don't know what it's about, but it just like looks cool, right?
I think generally speaking, for me, I need to have the slightest idea of what something is about. Or I don't know. I want to know. I want to have a general sense of the narrative or the focus of the show because the show seems like it's just on this massive scale that I need something to anchor my interest. So if I don't have that, then I'm like, what is this show about?
I'm going to follow up on what Kelly's saying and ask, do we know what the show is supposed to be about or do we not know? And the trailers...
Rings of Power.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that there's a title, but is this about like the forging of the Rings of Power?
I think it's about a very long period of time that covers the forging of the Rings of Power, that covers Sauron's return to Middle-earth. It features people that we have heard about, Isildur being one of them. So there's Galadriel, of course, and Elrond.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I realized 16 episodes into this podcast is probably the wrong time to ask that question, but I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't more information that I had missed.
At least it's coming in episodes that are not discussing the show. If this was like 5 episodes in and both of you were wondering, what is the show about? I
might be wondering that. So just...
That's a big problem.
Heads up. I might still 5 episodes in, I might still not know what the show is about, but I get that that's on me. I also haven't read any articles. I haven't read anything. So I'm sure, I would get more information from that, but based on the trailer alone, yeah, I'm lost.
I will say that's kind of how I felt about The Witcher, but I still loved the crap out of it anyway.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher purposely made things a little confusing so that you wouldn't fully get it as you were watching. And then it kind of came together in the end. And that was challenging and also like, but it was so fun to watch.
What are these hobbit looking things in the trailer?
Exactly, Matt.
What are they like?
Are they the beginning of the
Hobbits.
Hobbit people? Yeah. So, yeah.
Pre-hobbits. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Prehabs.
All right.
Prehabs.
I still haven't watched it, guys. I'm
prehabs, gotcha.
sorry. I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. I still haven't watched it. And for me, sometimes I like just when I have more information at once instead of trickling. I feel like we've talked about that before. I just want to
Yeah.
like a full trailer. I want to really like dip my toes in all at once.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and
I
I
get excited and then I
maintain
get,
That
you know.
it's pretty standard the way they've been handling all of that.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll move on to discuss the Two Towers.
I
we
have
left
seen
off?
this movie. I have
Great.
seen this movie.
I've seen this as well,
Fantastic.
and I
I
have
do
an
know what
idea of
this
what.
is about.
Yeah, same.
That's great. I'm glad we all know what we're talking about. So we pick up. We left off with the death of Howdeer. Oh
Yeah.
dear, Howdeer. Watching all his folks die around him. And then we have picking up Aragorn riding a ladder into a bunch of orcs who are trying to breach the gates. You have the battling ram, which crashes through and hooks one dude. And, gets him, and then it pulls him back in with them, which happens a little bit later on too with the grappling hooks, where it lands on one guy and then it like pulls him back. I don't know if y'all caught this, but someone yells "Hold them," but it sounds like Barney from The Simpsons. Hold them! Hold them! Go back and listen to it. It's pretty. Hold them! Yeah, almost Ray Romano-ish too.
How many times did you go back and rewatch?
Oh no!
At least 3.
Oh,
At least 3.
orcs
Not
are
as many as
good.
I.
Why do the orcs hate Ray?
If they get in here, we're gonna have major problems. We don't want them in here. Got to keep them out. I didn't watch it as many times as I watched that one clip that I sent you from New Girl.
Oh my God.
Robbie, when he's talking about, we should go somewhere to hash this all over. I know this great place. It's called Hash It Over. It's in a food cart at the mall. Serves hash browns. Pretty funny show. If you, it's been taking me like a year and a half to watch it.
Yeah,
But
I will.
Robbie's pretty
Just
great.
a quick side note for anyone. Mike is an excellent friend to have because you won't hear from him for weeks on end. And then all of a sudden he will send you the most random clip of a show he's watching with like no context to it whatsoever. And it's always a delight.
That's what I do.
Mhm.
That's what I do. So hold them. And Theoden gets a jab in the shoulder. Gamling gets gripped up. He gets choked and saved by Theoden there. So he's pretty lucky there. And Aragorn comes to help by the gate. So Aragorn and Gimli are sneaking around the gate entrance, and we have that toss me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much time do you need? As much as you can give me.
They didn't know, kind of like coming into the battle for like a second and then like taking a hit and be like, oh, run away.
Yeah, they all like when they all like usher him back out. Like, I get it. Like, he needs to live,
He's
right?
the king.
I get it. But it was like he was so like bravely coming and then so quickly ushered out.
Theoden in this part of the battle for us, I swear every few minutes he's just not into it.
Yeah.
He's just like,
either
why are we here? Why are we doing this?
He's on a roller coaster. This
He's
time.
either incredibly overconfident or like wants nothing to do with any of this. He's like,
Or just like straight up just like delusionally delirious. Like he's just like, what I'm meant to do against such reckless hate. It's like, are you catatonic right now, dude? Wake up. Let's go.
He needs a pep talk every few minutes.
I'm gonna go back to what Kelly said a few episodes ago, and he is still coming down from being possessed for so long. He never dealt with the death of his son.
We're all familiar with COVID brain.
Yeah.
This is possession brain.
Yeah, possession
He's got-
brain.
He's dealing with
He's
Long Saruman. Dealing with the long wizard.
Yeah. He's been
Yeah,
through
we
a
have
lot,
the
guys.
toss me. You're gonna have to toss me. Don't tell
It's funny,
the elf.
and it's funny, and it also rules because like Gimli immediately just starts like
Backing away.
messing dudes up.
Tossing people. He starts tossing them
Aragorn
all left and right.
Aragorn handles this whole situation with aplomb. You know, he doesn't tease him. He knows it needs to happen. It's a long way.
Yeah. I mean,
Break the jump.
realistically, though, I feel like
Good
if
impression, Stacy. That's a good Gimli.
Thanks.
If Aragorn were to toss him into those big, thick orcs, he'd probably just bounce off and like really just bounce and fall right down. But he doesn't. He lands there and he just starts.
Aragorn
Gimli's weighs a lot. I'm looking up Gimli's weight.
And Aragorn seems to have super strength all of a sudden because he tosses them good, high. He's heavy. That dwarf is dense.
Yeah, he's quite dense.
And he's got like his armor and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're looking to brace the gates. Big grappling hook, as I mentioned before, to pull up those ladders. Which I want to know who is it? Saruman designing this shit, or is there like an orc engineer?
Yeah.
It's all the orcs for this. Saruman does not have the wherewithal to. He's not in charge of the day-to-day. He's in charge of big picture stuff.
Yeah, I guess engineering is part of orc school, as we've talked about before.
Yeah. It's that one dude who was so stoked to go cut down the trees. He's the lead engineer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So big.
I'm unclear on how those huge ladders stacked with Uruk-hai are able to get up against the wall. You know, like the ropes aren't pulling them, so I'm just not sure how they're getting over that precipice. I'm not sure.
What do you mean? Which part? From the vertical down?
Yeah, from like horizontal on the ground with a bunch of Uruk-hai on it, and then it gets pushed up over the tipping point and to land on the wall. Just seems like you would need so much force at the bottom, and you would need so many Uruk-hai at a certain angle, which they're not tall enough to reach. I'm just not, I'm not clear on it. I don't care. I just
maybe they're like incredibly bottom heavy. Well,
now I care. I didn't, and now I'm like, how are those working?
Schematics.
Yeah. Let's see the blueprints.
The grappling hooks and the rope would like shoot over the wall, and then like somehow the rope was maybe at the top of the ladder and there was some pulley system or something, but that's not the case. The ropes are just cables for more Uruk-hai to climb up from the ground. So
okay, so do you think as like a guy like
we need an engineer on
a backyard and you have like a long wooden ladder, you're saying you couldn't get that up and over?
How heavy that ladder is because it's stacked with people. Like picture a ladder you have at home. But it's super top heavy and also very heavy. You would need a lot of people to push.
For sure.
Conceivably 60-foot ladder. That's, a couple thousand pounds.
This is quite a riddle.
No, this is so valid. Valid. Let's actually spend the rest of
I thought everyone was just going to immediately agree on this and proceed.
No, I'm in this now.
Okay, I want to go back and watch the scene and just watch the friggin'
I'm on HBO
ladders.
Max on my phone.
They don't show you. I look at the bottom. You never see the bottom of them, and I think this is why. Because
there's it shouldn't work. Yeah, we can't show that. It's just physically impossible for this to happen, especially with all those orcs on there. So just cut the frame a little short.
There are ropes. What are the ropes doing? Is the question.
I think they're just like cables for Uruk-hai to like kind of hand over hand kind
for
of fall up.
Legolas to shoot because then the ladders fall somehow.
Wow.
Oh yeah, so the ropes are involved somehow because he does.
Yeah, the ropes are definitely connected to these ladders. They have a whole system.
All right. Okay.
Plus they have the cool little grapply things at the top, which is
I'm still not totally clear on how it works, but
there are ropes, Matt. I don't know what else you need to know.
You're right.
Then Legolas shoots an arrow and the ladder comes down.
Listen, Saruman's work school is an accredited institution. They're not just going to throw these things up there if they weren't sure they were going to work.
The Uruk-hai did not half-ass this battle.
No.
I trust that makes sense. I'm also just interested in like what is the engineering component behind that I just don't understand, Yeah. But I trust that it makes sense in the movie.
So Theoden orders Gimli and Aragorn, who are still down there trying to clear out the gate area, orders them out of there. Get out of there. And Legolas helps them out with the rope. And then you have that guy that gets hooked by the grappling hook. And Theoden orders everybody to fall back, retreats, because they have broken through. The castle is breached.
Yeah.
Legolas somehow pulls up Aragorn and Gimli on a rope.
You know what always looks so uncomfortable to me? When Aragorn like gets to the top and his arm bends over that part. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And he's holding Gimli with like one arm. Guys, I hold my toddler all day and he's pushing 25 pounds and it hurts. I don't know how much Gimli weighs. I'm going to guess upwards of 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Because he's solid muscle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how strong Aragorn is to have that kind of forearm strength.
Yeah. The
It's
Dunedain are jacked people. Let's just leave it at that.
It must be one of those things where it's like, you know, when like the mother lifts the car off the baby, like these guys are so amped up on adrenaline.
Yeah, it's all the adrenaline.
Because it's war. I've never been in war. Kelly, I understand you do war.
I do war. I do war all the time.
And we have Merry and Pippin. Merry and Pippin sighting. They're at the western borders. They're going to get dropped off at the western borders of the forest, according to Treebeard. And Pippin's like, let's go south. And he has that great line: the closer we are to danger, the farther we are from harm. It's the last thing he'll expect. And
my question on this scene: does Pippin know what he's doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
He knows that Treebeard is going to see Isengard and want to fight.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I think that he's been turned around. I think Mary did a good job in our previous installment of kind of painting the picture. Like, there will be no Shire, jackass. There's nothing. There won't be anything to go back to.
Yeah.
So this is why I've been trying to get these trees to go fight.
Well, why does he think this is going to work? Because they haven't seen Isengard, Merry and Pippin. They don't know what it looks like. And Treebeard has already been like, oh, all they're doing is burning their fires and stuff like that. Like, why does he put this all together and think that this is going to work?
I think because what Treebeard said in the previous one was like, this is not our war. They're just doing what they always do. And when I guess they know that it's not quite that there's a whole, there's a lot more going on than what Treebeard seems to understand.
So they're banking on Treebeard not knowing what's happening in Isengard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also don't totally know, right? But like he has an idea, and it's like it's best glimmer of.
He's like, let's just see.
Treebeard's mind.
Yeah, I mean, at worst, it gets them to the war, to where some action is, and then maybe they get pulled into the fight that way. At best, it's justified, which of course it is. So yeah, Merry and Pippin. Closer we are to danger, the farther we are from harm. It's the last thing I'll expect, and that doesn't make much sense to me. But then again, you are very small.
Love that line.
I've always enjoyed going south. Makes me feel like I'm going downhill. And then we have Frodo and Sam, which I think we were missing last one, weren't we? We were missing either Frodo and Sam or Merry and Pippin. I forget which. Either way, Frodo and Sam.
We had a lot of Merry and Pippin last session.
Yeah, Frodo and Sam are with Faramir. The ring will not save Gondor. Please let me go. Which is basically what's happening with them throughout this storyline in this part that we're covering.
Yeah.
Treebeard sees the destruction, which took them no time at all to get to the southern edge of the forest.
Yeah,
real quick.
He really does cover ground. I mean, he's got such a wide stride.
Mm-hmm.
This might be one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Same.
It's just like the tragedy behind it, that like very primal tree bellow.
The roar.
This might be the last march of the Ents. Like,
the Ents are going to war.
And then the music, the choir swelling. And so good.
The fact that he thinks that Saruman's army's there and they're gonna go anyway, like they're just so done with, like, that's just.
And the heartbreak in his voice when he's, some of these trees were my friends. I've known them since
voices of their own.
Not an acorn.
Yeah.
And you start seeing the trees move and you don't really know where they're going. They have business with the orcs and you're like, oh, what's happening there? Oh my God. Everything about
I'll
this
save
scene
that
is,
for later.
yeah, absolutely perfect. Beautiful, tragic, powerful. I just get so jacked up when this
Well,
scene
it's like
happens.
we spent so much time with the Ents
Mhm.
and it didn't go anywhere. It was like kind of frustrating. They were just, somewhat borderline like apathetic about everything. And then to finally see them riled up, it was just like, fuck yeah. Like, let's go.
Is this happening? And then they come out of literally the woodwork. And you're
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
And
where
they're
are
all
they? They're so
different.
close. They were so close the whole
They're so-
time. I don't know what happened.
how did they not see this happen?
They should have seen this.
And I have to assume that since it takes a very long time to say anything in old Entish, that the only thing Treebeard said was just like, whoa. Because they came running. Everything else took forever.
It was like
but
the horn
they-
of Gondor being blown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It just,
That is no
yeah.
No
Orc horn.
discussion or plan making. Everybody's just like, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go fuck up Isengard, guys.
And
Let's
it's
go.
Just like-
we're probably marching to our doom.
Yeah.
This is the last march of the Ents.
Oh, the last march of the Ents. Oh,
And just
everyone
like
got
the scale of what we were seeing,
Yeah.
it was just like, whoa. I had this thought, I'm like, these are giant walking, talking trees that are going to attack this really big building and all these monsters. I had this moment of like, this is fantasy. It was very weird. I must have been in a weird headspace, but I was just like, this is fantasy, everyone. I was like so stoked. I was totally alone. Yeah. I was like, do it, Tolkien. So epic. And then I thought to myself, this is better than anything in Harry Potter. I
Right?
always have that thought.
Yeah.
it's honestly better than most movies.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's
Like
better
I'll just
than
say
anything.
most movies that could ever have been made. This might be better than
It's
I
better than your children. being
disagree.
born. It's better.
that. Has anyone else ever been better than this scene?
No.
For me, no.
It's-
Like, no.
It's so well earned too.
Yeah.
Like the way
Yeah.
Kelly just described it, you have these big, huge trees going to fight monsters and this huge building. They're going to war. Like that sounds fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But in the context of this movie and the pacing with which it was all done and the performances and the music and everything coming together, it makes perfect sense.
This is
It
the
fits.
point in like most movies nowadays. I feel like where I'd be like, it went too far for me. Like they just don't land it. They like didn't earn it. Like
Yeah.
this. If they tried this
Oh, yeah.
in any other fantasy franchise, like something similar, I'm probably being like, I could have done without that part, but like some other stuff was cool. But like
Yeah.
here, it's like you said, Stacey, my like favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
Is, like,
It's so
this
well
whole
earned.
sequence, and it's fucking trees. It's walking arguably bad CGI trees, and I'm
Yeah.
so on board.
Yeah.
It's so well earned, and like we've said before, it takes so long to get to this point that you're not even like the first time I watched this, I was not sure how I felt about the Ents until this scene, right? You're just like, they're doing nothing. Like I'm as frustrated as Mary. And now because I've seen this every time I watch it, it's like the rewatch is colored knowing that this is going to happen, and you get such a fondness for them over time. So it's so interesting how this lends itself to like everything about that whole realm of the tree herders.
I mean, one of
A
the
wizard
highlights
should know
in
better.
the whole trilogy.
And it also has one of the lines, another line that I use very often, and that is, "There is no curse in Elvish, Entish, nor the tongues of men for this treachery."
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a
I've used that
Marbach.
That's
many
once a
many
day,
times. Also in my notes, they have business with the orca, which of course should be orcs, but I like thinking that they're going to fight some whales.
Business with Tillicum.
Yeah. My business is with Isengard tonight. And the trees come out and you have, I think it was Mary. Yes.
Oh, I love their reaction is so good.
Is every line in that scene just like the best?
The best?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everything Treebeard says, like yes,
Even
or
just, like,
or like, oh
Pippin-
my god, I feel so bad. You
Yeah,
know?
even just like
Oh.
Pippin adjusting himself like in his seat there, you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And that pose he does when he like belts out and like that shot just like out, kind of like arms back. It's like his whole body's in it. It's so awesome. It's so cool.
And then we
About to
pan
take
over all
off.
the forest. It's just like
Trees
filmmaking.
moving. Beautiful. It's
The
Mwah.
magic of
Filmmaking.
cinema.
It's
Yeah.
fantasy.
That's
then we go
fantasy.
back
That's
to us,
it.
back to Osgiliath, and it's getting pummeled. It's getting destroyed.
Things
This is
don't look
like
good.
this is like a ghost city, right? Like no one's living there. It's just like the.
I think it's just in constant war.
It's like it's a city that they
It's like a
held and then they
fortress.
lost and then they're holding it again and they're about to
Faramir
lose it
got it
again.
back. Faramir
And
got it back.
Faramir's like, I can't keep losing Osgiliath. My dad won't like me.
Yeah, it seems like
Like
it's just a
more than
bunch
he
of
already doesn't like me.
columns. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's at this point just so destroyed. It's just all rubble.
It must just be like a strategic point. They can't let Mordor get it because then
It's
they're going
the
to just start
point-
closing in, right?
Yeah. It's
Start closing in on
across
Gondor.
the river. So there's a river between Mordor side and Gondor side, and Osgiliath is the stronghold city on the
Yeah.
Gondor side of the
Yeah.
I
river.
think that's the
That's a
Delaware.
straight path. Exactly.
George Washington
Yeah.
did cross that river
To get to
previously
Osgiliath.
to get to Osgiliath. What a great name. Osgiliath. We
Osgiliath.
have not talked about so
O
good.
Town.
It was
And he's
such a good
getting
band.
Faramir is getting an update from his lieutenant, and it's basically like shit's bad.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Like things are exploding around them. It's not going good, Faramir. And Frodo is
He-
kind of feeling that ring weight.
He and his lieutenant, someone could put together a whole like gag reel of just them to like the Curb Your Enthusiasm music talking about war because none of it is strategic, none of it is helpful.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
just them tapping maps and being like, we're losing here.
He has Merry and Pippin, and he has that line: "Take them to my father. Tell them Faramir sends a mighty gift."
He's so cocky.
He is. And Sam kind of breaks away and is like, "What are you doing?
You want to know how your brother died?
I tried to get the right, you stupid son of a bitch."
I love it.
Which
I love
means
when Sam gets mad.
at some point that means Frodo had to have told Sam like all the shit that went down.
Mhm,
Like they're sitting up behind like spilling tea on the Fellowship.
mhm. Yeah.
Hot goss.
And then this is creepy, creepy moment with Frodo. They're here.
Yeah.
They've come.
Oh, and then Mike, do your ring wraith scream. Oh, it was
His
so
mouth
high. I didn't even hear
opened,
it.
but no sound came out.
Yeah. It was a dog whistle.
Any better?
A little bit.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better. That's good.
And then Nazgul. And then he stashes away Sam and Frodo. And then we cut away. We go back to the keep, and the orcs are at the door, just trying to housekeeping.
Theoden continues to lose it.
They're
Yep.
putting
He
the
does, yeah, he's
hand
just
of
losing.
Saruman up.
He's like sad monologuing,
Mhm.
doing nothing, like getting
Listening to
bandaged up.
Morrissey.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is when he's catatonic. It's just like, what is going on? with
So
you?
much hate. What
Yeah.
can men do against such
And such
reckless hate?
hate. And Aragorn is like, "Is there any other way to get out of here?"
Aragorn
Is there
like
any
takes
other
out
way?
a glove and like slaps his face a couple times.
There's a pitcher of water at his face.
Yeah, Aragorn really takes over here. He's given what's his face orders. Like he's
Yeah.
Mhm.
he's like, is there any other passage out of the mountains? Which should have been everyone's first question when we put
Yeah.
the women and children.
When the kids and wives away.
The
Like,
kids are
hey,
laughing.
is there a way out? Because there's 10,000 effing Urukai coming. Urukai, whatever.
Why didn't they? I still
Like-
don't understand why they didn't put them in there and be like, just go all the way. If you hear orcs, just make a run for it because
Yeah.
you shouldn't wait to see how this battle goes to
No,
get them
they
through the
should have been
mountains.
gone.
It's like
They should have been gone.
10,000 orcs.
Yeah.
Guys, can we talk about that?
10,000.
The
Well, now you
orcs
need-
brought flags. Isn't
Yeah.
that like
The hand of
cute?
Saruman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like
Embroidery
sweet.
class.
They were so confident. Yeah, they had craft class at SU, at Saruman University, and they made little flags and they
Saryu.
brought them. I just thought that was so funny.
They made him
Sorry, you alum.
Day.
Yeah, they probably were like singing their own like fight song on the way, like.
Oh, I wonder how that would go.
Let's
I don't know what
go.
I've been told.
That's an army thing, which also
Army.
works. That
Yeah.
works.
Is there any other way? Make for the mountain pass. And even Gamling at this point is like picking off the Theoden vibes. He's like, yeah, the mountain pass, but like there's no way they can make it. It's too many works.
Too many.
Everybody calm down.
Gambling. No one
Yeah.
asked you.
Yeah. Is there any other
Last
way?
I
Yeah, make
checked,
for the mountain
Theoden,
pass.
not gambling was king.
Right?
Yeah, but
well,
Aragorn's the one
Stay
giving
in
you
your
orders.
lane.
what can men do against such reckless hate? Ride out and meet them. Fight.
Love it.
And he's like, what? For death and glory? No. No, for Rohan.
For Rohan,
your
Theoden.
people.
I thought he was hyped
Idiot.
on Death and Glory. I read it as excited. Like I read he was
Yeah.
like,
Me
oh
too.
yeah, Death and Glory, great. Like, and it's like, no, dude, fucking for your people. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's-
Let's
yeah,
see this
yeah,
glass is half full, my friend.
That's what I said. That glory of my people. You didn't let me
Yeah.
finish talking.
right.
We're gonna die, but it's for our glory of our. We're on the same page. Same page.
Yeah.
Get my
Hey,
horse.
Aiden, you're all right, man. You're looking a little pale, and your beard dye is dripping. I can see the black coming through.
I didn't read that as excited death and glory. I read that as like blowing him off. Like, no, that's a waste of it's a waste.
Let's get Bernard Hill in here to clear it
For
up.
Rohan.
Yeah.
And your people. And then out of nowhere, Gimli's just like, hey, sun's coming up. Sun's rising.
Hey guys, check out the sun. It's coming through the window. Looks pretty nice. Okay, Gimli.
He's not paying attention to anything. Just like looking out a window, sitting
Gimli
down. Orcs are at the door. Hey, sun's coming up.
Gimli's having the best time of his goddamn life.
He's
We've
never
said
been
it
more
before.
excited.
I'll say it again. Yeah, he is in this. He's like, this is literally every day in the mines. Do you know how deep we had to dive? Do you know what we found down there? Every day in the mines is like today. I'm having a great time.
Yeah. And then we have the Gandalf voiceover coming back in to remind us, look to my coming at first light on the 5th day. At dawn, look to the east. And here, Theoden's getting a little bit more energy. Took a couple B12 vitamins, I guess. And yes, let's ride out. The horn of Helm, hammerhead shall sound in the deep one last time. And then we get a Gimli. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick
Through.
cue, guys. I go back and forth on this. Want to see what the fellowship thinks. Do you think that light in the window could have been served better with no Gandalf voiceover, just letting us pick up the cues?
Yes.
Or do you think it was necessary to like set the scene, remind people, et cetera, et cetera?
I would have preferred a little less in that moment. Yes. I get why they did it because it's a long movie and it's a lot to keep track of and not everybody's going to watch it 1,000 times.
And we
like
hadn't
us.
seen Gandalf in a while.
Gandalf.
Yeah, but
We
if
hadn't
they
seen
had-
Gandalf.
I kind of think if they had just like let the shot linger on the window for as long as they did with no voiceover, more people would have been like, I'm supposed to remember something about this.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
just cut to like Aragorn's reaction, and
Like-
it would have been like, "Oh, that's right."
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Or play Gandalf's theme, as a little
Mm.
musical trigger.
Yeah.
or just have Gimli
something a
say,
little
hey,
less
the sun's coming up
heavy.
on the 5th day.
It's been like
And that's
5
the
days
east.
since we've seen Gandalf, right, guys?
Casey,
Yeah.
I feel like in most circumstances I'd be on that side. This one, I do feel like I need it.
You liked it?
There's too much, even though I've seen it a billion times, I'm like, right, Gandalf. Like, no, I always remember that he's coming, but I like it is a helpful reminder, I think.
Okay.
Otherwise,
That's
it
how-
would be
yeah.
like
That's what I wanted to know. I
most
kind of
people-
prefer a little less heavy-handedness, but I don't think it strikes me as being a bad choice.
Yeah. I feel like I just picture like them screen testing this moment, and at the end, like with no voiceover, and at the end of it, it's like dead silent, and everyone's just like, "So the light in the window, like, what was that?" And they're like,
Was-
"Okay,
Yeah.
We need
And
some
you got-
voiceover.
And you got your pseudo intellectual friend being like, I think it was like a Christ metaphor or something.
Sure. Like
They're like, okay, we need a Gandalf voiceover.
the orcs can't be out in daylight, right? They're all gonna melt. So we're doing pretty good, I think. We stalled them long enough.
Yeah, it could be a cutscene of former set design where you had the window, the sun coming through, the word east above the window, and a calendar next to it with some crossing out of days.
This day we're not.
This is the Leslie Nielsen spoof of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Things.
Only. God damn it, Mike! That's so good.
That is so good.
They're yeah. Where are
Lord
we?
of the
Yeah.
Things.
So we're riding out and meet them. You get the voiceover in there. Horn of Helm, Hammerhead. Let this be the hour that we draw swords together. I like how Theoden didn't just correct his behavior; he made himself in charge again. he like took this moment, like, yeah, this is a good idea. I'm in charge again.
This was like it was his idea.
You know what? He had to. If those men looked up and saw a different guy leading this battle, they would have been like,
Yeah.
what the fuck
sure.
happened in that keep?
They would have been
True.
like, mankind is fucked.
And I love this. I love Theoden writing out. Like he
Yeah.
knows he might die. You know, like
He
he's
needed
just-
it.
Full of
It's like
lines.
a tree. It's like that Treebeard moment. This is the last march of these guys. Like
Mhm.
I love seeing people
Absolutely.
really throw themselves into their war. You know.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's a string of good lines from Theoden. Let this be the hour that we draw swords together. Now for
Oh.
Wrath, now for Ruin and the Red Dawn. For Theralingus.
And
then they just ride out
Aragorn?
slashing and smashing.
Sorry to, if we could just take a moment. I love pointing out Aragorn's really hot moments, and he has a real hot moment after Theoden says, let this be the moment that we draw swords together, and a real good glare from Vigo. I don't know if anyone remembers that look.
Mhm.
Worth going back for it.
yeah. Yeah.
Stacey, you got me. I knew you
Yeah,
were looking into
I
it.
have it queued up. You want to see? it?
Excellent. Yeah.
So they're
This whole
on
scene
the,
really, he's serving looks.
Oh,
they're on
and he's
the-
wet, so Matt likes him.
Oh yeah.
on the bridge, slashing and smashing, and then they see him. They see Gandalf, who has appeared, and Shadowfax. And it's not just Gandalf and Shadowfax, though.
It's
You
not.
have
Frodo,
Eomer.
hear him!
Yeah, Eomer comes up, and then all of the men behind him. Theoden stands alone, not alone. And then all of them. And he really picked up a lot of people.
Thousands.
A lot of people. So I
Yeah.
have to assume that he spent his time roaming the countryside, roaming the villages, gathering up all of the Rohirrim to join the fight.
Most underrated, underutilized character in this whole movie. He is charismatic
Mm.
AF. He's attractive AF. He knows his way through Horse Lord Kingdom. Like this guy is gonna make a swell king. I'm telling you
Mm.
that.
Rohirrim to the king.
And then
then
they
we get-
go down the steepest hill of all time.
How many degrees would you say that is?
That's 45.
I literally failed geometry, so I'm gonna let anyone else guess.
That looks like
this.
a 45-degree angle.
Maybe less.
Yeah.
What is a horse? What can a
You
horse do? What
protractor
is
out.
That's what I was wondering of. Like, I was really concerned about those horses.
Yeah. And
Well, yeah.
just
I mean
the-
that and the spears that they're running into. But then you see the
No,
light
just the horses.
get the
Uh-huh.
Uruk-hai in the eyes, and they're like, oh,
They're like, oh,
they get plowed.
Yep. Another Gandalf light trick.
Yeah.
Well,
Playing
Oh, actually, I guess it was the sun, right? The sun rising above them.
fun, yeah.
Yeah. Over the
Well, it
mountains.
had-
And
but Gandalf's whole plan to time it that way.
Yep.
Smart.
And they just kind of
Super
blast
smart.
through everybody between the sun in their eyes, the orcs distracted, the spear or the horses, the momentum that they gather going down such a steep hill. They just plow right through everybody.
Oh my
This
God.
franchise would have us believe that cavalry is equal to like tanks or something. I mean, these horses just plow through Uruk-hai like just like like a snowplow. Like it's crazy. It
I
just
think
bodies
that's
just
typically
flying
the case
everywhere.
for. I mean, cavalry will always win against a ground unit, and they just have so many, and
For
they're
sure,
not looking. They can't see.
sure. But the just
Yeah,
just
but it wouldn't
the
just
manner
come
in
over
which
like a
these
wave.
enemies are plowed like
Yeah.
it's very
It's not a tsunami.
So
Um,
good. I have no complaints about this.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I'm
I have
into it.
absolutely no
Oh, it's
notes. No
Oh,
notes.
sure.
But as far as battle scenes go, I think that it's a little odd that they do just kind of wash over them like a wave. One show that I've talked about before, The Last Kingdom, I think does scenes like this really well when they have where they have two armies like kind of running into each other. It's not just one army just kind of pushing all the way through. It's actual like clashes, and you see some kind of get through some.
Oh, well, I think
not.
most of the plowing happened on their way out of the keep, where I think it's just like a domino effect. They didn't expect it. Horses come out, you kind of lean back, and men fall off the sides. Once they get down, they're actually engaging in battle.
Sure.
Oh, well, let us not underestimate the size and power of a horse.
Brago's in there. Shadowfax is in there. We've been introduced to these horses, guys. We know what they can do.
Well, and horses are like, they're, obviously I think it's a little animated, but I think that is kind of what would happen.
It
seems real to me.
Have you guys ever been caught in a stampede before?
Cavalry battle. I don't think it would look like that at all.
Okay. Why don't we get some horses and find a hill and figure this out?
I love it. I think it's comical in some sequences.
Matt, it is a stampede. A stampede of
There's
horses.
literally nothing I have found comical about this scene at all. I get jacked up every time I watch it.
I get jacked up too.
Everybody gets jacked up.
Well, I'll just drop it.
You get jacked up.
Are we all agreeing right now?
If we can't come to the table and agree that it's like kind of unrealistic how this happens, that's like the bar that we need to meet at, then let's just drop it.
I hear that you're saying words, but I'm not hearing the words that you're saying.
I understand.
I think that you're also
we
wrong.
all love it. We all love this movie. What's the next thing?
I also think that you're just wrong.
And you have Gandalf out there with his staff just kind of knocking orcs in the head.
Bonk.
Yeah, the old kabong.
No notes.
No
Bonk.
notes. The Ents attack Isengard as Saruman watches, just kind of like trying to get every angle he can, just running around the balcony like, oh, what's going on?
Is it also shitty over here?
He is spiraling out
bad.
during this scene.
Yeah.
I love when you get the shot of the Ents throwing rocks at Orthanc. I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
Now, do we think that this is the wettest scene so far?
I think you could say that this is pretty wet.
It's only a competitor would be Arwen playing the horse water against.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were.
I thought you were just gonna end it, Arwen.
Yeah. So Saruman is watching.
It's those dream sequences with Arwen. Those are the wettest.
Some of the Ents are getting lit on fire, unfortunately.
Hard to watch.
Awful. That was really awful.
Treebeard screaming, "Break the dam!
Release the river!"
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
And they do. They just pull it.
Hobbits.
They just pull it out.
So powerful. So powerful.
Like it's a plug.
They just pull it.
They just pulled out.
Pull the finger out the dike.
It's late.
This is one of the greatest. I just think that from here on out, everything with the Ents is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen on like in a movie.
And like we don't even really like they're like, this is gonna be potentially our demise. Like this is maybe the last march of the Ents. Everyone we see every Ent we see get kind of hurt gets saved. Like the tree that gets set on fire, gets put out with water. The tree that gets pulled down and gets like axed by a bunch of orcs gets saved by Treebeard's boulder throw.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no losses.
It's because they don't know that the orcs aren't there. They think that there's an army there. They are marching to fight this army.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why they.
And there's no army there. They won before. They didn't even know. It's so cool.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When y'all watch this in theaters, did your audience applaud when the tree on fire dipped it? Yeah, every time I'd watch that movie, the audience would go nuts and they would be like, woo! I feel like I've been conditioned to get like just super excited about that scene.
Moment.
It's so satisfying. And then just like beyond that, all the water rushing down and like washing away the orcs is so cleansing. And I know that water is cleansing, but like that's particularly satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the major casualty in that scene is Saruman University.
Mm,
I know.
they're gonna
Uh,
lose their funding.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
endowment in the world could have saved
No,
that mess.
it's pretty much done. We
Gonna
They better
to
have a
do
good PR
gondola
person.
class. Sorry, stepped on
what was
your
that,
bit.
Matt?
So you're gonna have to take a gondola to class now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
'Cause of-
Yep.
Aside from just a regular canoe,
Boat.
any
I was
raft.
thinking,
Of,
Venice. I was thinking Venice vibes.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
take a gondola.
I
to
thought you were doing
class.
a play on the word Gondor.
Yeah.
Gondola.
Okay. We're all-
It is 9:45 at night, and we are all upwards of the age of 30. So around there.
Looped up.
Yeah.
We're
We
having
cut
fun.
to Osgiliath again, where Frodo is like, "Ah, fuck it, I'm just gonna give myself to these goddamn wraiths." And one,
He does not talk like that, Mike.
excuse me, fuck it, I'm just going to give myself to these goddamn wraiths.
Arwen, is that you?
What is this? A wraith caught off as God?
A ranger caught up his gun.
So Frodo's walking toward the wraiths, and Sam is like, "What are you doing, Mr. Frodo? Like you're walking toward the wraiths. What exactly is happening?" And the wraith kind of has great scene, slow motion, where it's flying up above, looking
Very
at him,
cool.
screeching. Frodo is taking the ring and basically handing it off, and Sam tackles him. And I think it was Faramir that kind of shoots at the wraith, sends it, scares it away, and then Frodo pulls a sword on Sam.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's me.
Holds it up to his
Oh.
neck.
It's your Sam.
Oh, does that
Don't
get
you
anyone
know you're
else?
Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Kelly,
my god.
That's like the saddest scene ever.
Guys, who else is with me here? How emotional is that line?
Guys, who else is with me? Frodo and Sam make a great partnership. It's tough. It's tough when one of them turns on. the
Guys,
other one.
hear me out. Sam, unsung hero. Am I
Yeah.
right?
No one talks about Sam, guys. Come on.
They
It's
will.
your
Samwise
Sam.
the Brave.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll hang tight until we get to Sam's monologue because whew,
But Kelly
Yeah.
has said this before where you talk about people who can act with their voice. And this was a
Mm.
beautiful example of Sean Astin, given that scene, everything that he had.
Mm-hmm.
well
Yep.
said. Well said.
By rights, we shouldn't even be here. You got Gollum looking on. It talks about the stories full of darkness and danger as it flashes to the battle victory, thanks to the Rohirrim and Gandalf arriving.
Victory!
We have
and-
victory.
They didn't just
Yeah.
start shouting it, and you're
Victory!
like, is it? Or is he,
Yeah.
are you just allowed to claim that?
Hayden's kind of all over the place. You're gonna need to get him to a doctor after this.
Yeah.
Gonna talk to Thaden.
Go to the infirmary.
Yeah, dealing with
You
that
are-
long
You are
Saruman.
manic. You were catatonic moments ago.
Mhm. It's like whenever there's a space movie and one of the astronauts is just like losing it.
Yeah,
He was like Steve Buscemi in Armageddon.
exactly. Perfect.
Yeah,
analogy.
after the war, Theoden's like, Aragorn, let's not talk about, what happened inside the keep, okay? Let's just keep with all the heroic stuff. Yeah. Gollum is looking on. We're flashing to the battle victory, as we said. The water is washing over Isengard. And Sam continues, I know now. Folks in these stories had lots of chances of turning back, but they didn't. They kept going. Thinking there's something to hold on to. And Frodo, what are we holding on to, Sam? That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And Faramir lets him go.
Holy
Faramir must have been listening
shit.
in.
Goose
Yeah.
bumps.
That is my favorite Sam monologue of the trilogy. It is so
Mhm.
good on top of like the whole
Yeah.
war conclusion montage.
Music.
And what of course the music and specifically like everything was timed so immaculately, like when
Oh,
he says
so well.
when he's like the sun shines out the clearer and it's like
Yeah.
Merry and Pippin at Isengard, everything is so good. And I've probably said this before, but Sean Astin is such a good crier. Holy
Oh.
shit, no one cries like
so
Sean
good.
Astin.
dude, because he pulls off being like borderline like blubbery, which is like hard
Yeah.
to do. Like he is almost like like
Yeah, like ugly crying, but
like
not.
sobbing
Yeah.
almost. You know, like it's not just like a lot of actors can do like the single tear well or like the blinky
or the
cry,
blubbering.
but
Yeah,
he is like
he can
tears
get
streaming, like mouth, like nose clogged kind of crying, which is
And,
really
like,
hard to do well.
reciting this beautiful text. It's like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
what are you? I was like, why was he nominated for like best supporting actor? I'm like, why didn't he get a nomination for this character?
Yeah.
I mean, so
it's-
good.
The way he captures all of the emotions of that character, because it's not just sadness. There's like frustration, there's anger, and I think that's why it's all like
Exhaustion.
what Matt was saying. Yeah, exhaustion, borderline blubbery, because it's not just the sadness, it's the determination, it's all of that that's keeping him from just losing it completely. And yeah, he plays it all so damn well. That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And then Faramir lets them go.
Faramir's just
And-
awkwardly like, so I heard all of that.
The whole crew comes
Elephant
out
in the
from
room.
woodwork, slam.
Elephant in the room. I know you were talking about me.
Sorry to interrupt, but you
Osgiliath
could
is
go.
still under heavy assault, by the way. And they all just stop what they're doing to listen to Sam monologue. But it works.
God,
Can you
Faramir
blame him?
lets them,
Some
lets them
growth
go.
because
Shitty movie if he didn't hear it. Like, wouldn't it be such a shitty like progression of events? Now we gotta go talk to Faramir again. Like, trying to, like,
Yeah.
Oh, here comes
Yeah,
Denethor. Hey,
it's,
Denethor.
Are you my mighty gift?
How do my
really,
mighty
really
gift?
good thing Faramir was honed in on Sam's speech and not the dragon. It's-
We got to get John Noble is occasionally on Cameo. Got to get him to do an intro for this podcast.
Ah, great
Who's that?
voice.
Denethor.
Denethor.
Oh,
Son of Ecthelia. Yeah. So yeah, let's him
Is he
go.
the only Lord of the Rings cast member on Cameo?
No. There's a few. I can't. It
Can-
varies because some of them are
Can
on it
we
for a little while.
get Lurtz?
Lurtz might be on there. The
Denethor.
lieutenant.
Or that one Uruk-hai that just goes, "Come on."
How about it?
Let's go.
The lieutenant warns him what will happen if he lets them go. That his life is forfeit. Then it's forfeit.
Then it's
Release
forfeit.
them. Now, what I want to know is why did these two? Like, is that what would happen if you release them? Like, who are these two? And what rules? Like, is there a rule in Gondor? If you ever find anybody that has the One Ring and you let them go, that's your life. Like, what rule are we citing here? Because we know that they're not orcs. We know that they're not working with the enemy. They know that much.
I think he's basically just saying, I mean, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I think he's just saying your dad knows a mighty gift is on the way and you're not going to give it to him. You have to go explain yourself and he's not going to let you do anything anymore. You know,
He's
like,
waiting for a
Lieutenant.
package.
Lieutenant, you didn't say what the mighty gift was, though, right? I might have. I might have said something about a ring in the end of the
About
road and
that.
Dark Lord.
Sean Astin is $350 on Cameo. What do you guys say? Split four
Much.
ways. I'd
I
be
Too
mean,
much.
Billy Boyd is only 190.
I would love that. That might happen.
Yeah, but he's got such a great distinctive voice.
Yeah, absolutely. We cut to the orcs running into the forest as the Rohirrim look on, watching them just kind of get destroyed.
Right
Stay away from
after
the forest edge.
this scene happening, right after Sam and Frodo's scene, it gets me every time because it's like Merry and Pippin sent this to you guys. They did
Mhm.
this. This is it was like a little slice of Merry and Pippin
Yeah.
all the way to Helm Steve. It gets me
Mhm.
so emotional when I see it.
Yeah,
Those
they're all
trees-
working together.
Those trees, they were sent there because Merry and Pippin had tree
I know,
beards.
I know. I'm saying they moved though. They were fast.
They were.
Mhm.
2 hours since they
What
left.
Can
did
Ents
it
run?
look like? Like a rolling field of trees.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, if the forest is rocking, don't come a knocking. Huh?
You have the legless and
Yep.
Gimli
Sailing right past that.
counting off. The whole twitching. He's twitching because he's got my axe buried in his nervous system.
Okay. Two
40,
huge notes on
43.
this scene.
Me too. Go
Lay
for
it on
One.
us, Stacey.
How the F does anyone know what the nervous system is
That's
in
my
Middle
note.
Earth? Number
First.
So
two,
are you?
I watched Legos. I don't know if you guys watched the scene. I watched the scene where he knocked down the ladder full of orcs that splatted on top of
Yeah,
each
it's got to
other.
be a lot more.
That's like 50 in one go. Are we not counting these incidental deaths?
I always thought that their numbers, I was like, wait a minute.
So low.
Y'all have killed like hundreds.
There were 10,000 of them.
He
And they
killed,
killed
Yeah.
43?
1,000 orcs.
he killed
Yeah.
like 8 when he skimboarded down the stairs. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it.
way
I
more.
always found that to be like, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like you really got to
Those
do a
are-
lot more damage than them dudes.
Are we counting?
Rookie numbers.
Are we counting the people on the bridge going up to the gate? Because that,
Right?
like
that
They're whole-
alone was like 20 at least each.
Yeah.
each,
Even
I
the
don't know that-
kids with rocks throwing down could have hit 43 by the end of the night. There's 10,000 of them. It's just
Yeah.
a numbers game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't add up.
Furious.
Still fine.
To have a perfect movie and to end it with those numbers.
we need to break down the math on this. So like how many Uruk-hai ran into the woods at the end? Let's say 2,000. We got about 200 men in Helm's
I'm giving the forest orcs to Merry and Pippin.
yeah.
That
Mm.
belongs. If we're just counting within the fellowship, I'm giving it to those guys.
I think the fellowship in Helm's Deep would have had to kill roughly 5,000 Uruk-hai.
Yeah. Sounds about right. We go back to Merry and Pippin, and they're talking about Saruman, who's probably still up there looking around, checking every angle.
Yup,
down
it's
He's like
below.
still
whispering.
sucks.
He's like whispering into his mic, and he's like, "Okay, for all of my subscribers out there,
Yeah,
Live
shit
streaming.
has hit
please send
the fan.
my GoFundMe is on my page."
Merry and Pippin down there. He doesn't look too happy. No. And then you have Merry measuring his height. Things are back to normal. He's taller than Pippin. Talking about food, and what do you know? Food is floating around them. And then they follow the food into Saruman's cupboard, which just stocked with good shit.
Amazing.
To the brim.
Whole turkey, fruits, South Farthing, weed, long bottom leaf.
That was so cartoony for just like a whole cooked
A whole-
turkey to be like floating in the water.
It would be like soggy and like
I know.
have
Yeah,
tetanus
you got
on
to
it.
replace
Like
that wet turkey. That is
Yeah.
a water wet turkey. I
you
like
eat
my
that.
movies wet. I
you'd
don't
get
Yeah,
get,
man, I'm
like-
surprised that you're not into that.
you'd get giardia for sure from that turkey.
Merry offers to share it, Pippin offers to share it, asks if they should share it, and Merry says no because might be
Just a relative.
distant relative of his, might be weird. Then he lets out a
Neat.
weird bone.
Mm.
Yeah,
Bone.
they get stoned instantly.
They-
They open the barrel and are 100% stoned within seconds.
And
They're
then
already
Treebeard
like,
has that
laughing
weird parent moment.
hysterically.
You
I'm
what?
sorry, Matt. What was that?
I was just saying they're already like laughing hysterically before there's even like smoke coming
Yeah.
out of the room.
Insta high.
Yeah.
And Treebeard has that moment where he's out there, looks in, he's like,
Yeah.
"What's all this?
Are
then?
you smoking weed in there?
What's all this then?"
Is it ever
And-
not satisfying in a movie when the characters come across a bounty of food though?
Oh,
It's always so
great.
gratifying.
it's so satisfying.
Great.
And-
Yeah,
and
so
I-
much food. Why is that so great to see all the time? It's just a delight.
Because food is good.
It's good.
True.
Food
I
is
love-
good.
And also, like, we just went so long with like death and destruction. No one's taking a sip of water just to
Yeah,
see something
no
that kind of
self-care.
nourishes you. It's nourishing. It's helpful.
It's
Yeah.
literally everything that the hobbits like. I assume there was ale in there as well.
Really?
So yeah, super
Mhm.
exciting. I do love
For
that
sure.
moment when Merry is like measuring him and
Mhm.
Pippin, and then Pippin turns around and Merry does the classic like, "Oh, I was just looking at the tips
Yeah.
of my
Yeah.
hair."
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love when they're giggling in the thing with their new weed leaves and Treebeard walks by and like rolls his eyes at them like, "Oh, these kids."
What's
I
all this
just-
then?
So
Yep.
cute.
We go to Frodo and Sam, and we are in the home stretch of the Two Towers. In 7 parts, not even 8 as we had planned out. Frodo and Sam headed out with Gollum with the help of Faramir, You have you have shown your quality, sir. Sam says to, I think it was Sam says to Faramir,
Yeah.
because he
Love
didn't
that.
give
Frodo
into
doesn't
the
really
ring.
talk to Faramir. They really don't have that much conversation. It's mostly Sam.
And he says that they're going near a path near Minas Morgul. And Faramir's like, what? Kirathungal? Is that the name of it? Kirathungal? So where we're going? And then Gollum's like, no, yes.
Faramir,
Yeah.
yeah, and Faramir's got like some unchecked rage too. I mean, he immediately just choke slams
He
Gollum.
does. He does. Yeah.
He's been waiting to do that ever since they were kicking him.
Get out on him.
Yeah. Say there's a dark terror there, but we must try. We must go. And then he says, go with the good will of all men. And then Faramir warns Gollum that hopefully death will come quickly to you if any harm comes to them.
All of a sudden, he's like, if you mess with my friends, I'll get you. And it's
They've
like,
been my
Faramir, these guys
friends
don't
for
like you.
5 minutes, but we're close now.
You
So
were just ready to hand them
Right.
over.
Yeah.
They
He was
finally
literally ready to.
each other. It's nice. I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
It is
Well,
like
also,
it
he-
happens fast, but I love it.
he's potentially he gives them away. He has this moment, but he also knows that he is going to possibly face some serious repercussions from this. So
he's
of course
going to be in trouble with
warn Gollum.
Daddy.
Yeah, he's going to warn Gollum like, hey, if anything happens to them, I did all this for nothing. So you better not fucking let anything happen to them.
Listen, you little shit. I didn't just
Little-
forfeit my life for your
Listen to me,
scraggly
you
ass to
fucking piece of
sabotage it.
shit. You little piece of shit, you fucking mutant motherfucker.
Dude, he hates Gollum.
Get to that, you lead him to that fucking volcano and you let them drop that fucking ring in.
You just look at
All
me,
of
you
his
slimy
men who were
fucking
beating
bald
up
son of a
Gollum are
bitch.
they're standing in the back. They're like, you want me to go, boss? Do you want me
They're like, yeah, you tell him, Faramir, you tell him.
Yeah.
Then we have a moment with Sam trying to reason with Gollum. Hey, just so you know, Frodo was on your side the whole time. He didn't want anything bad to happen to you, and he was trying to save you. And then this Gollum's delivery, Andy Serkis's delivery on this line is so out of place to me, but it's perfect at the same time because he was trying to save you, and then Gollum, and when you listen to him, he's like, "Save me, save me,
Says
save me." It's perfect.
Save me.
Yeah, it is. It's just go back and listen to it, people at
Yeah.
home who are listening,
It's
because I
great.
know there's a bunch of you. It's save me. What?
There's
Like,
dozens of you.
Yeah.
At least two of Kelly's friends, we know.
Dude,
Go-
they are fans. So Jordan, listen to Mike.
Our
Look, Jordan, tell us what you think about cavalry. Like, I want your thoughts.
Oh,
I
I
want
bet
to
Jordan's
know.
got thoughts.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
thoughts.
How many horses have you ridden? Have you ever used horses to stampede an entire army? These are the things we want to hear from you guys who are out there listening.
Mhm.
we are at our final 2 quick scenes.
Mike's
it
trying
is-
so hard to get.
And-
Stacy, I swear to God.
Stacey, you listen to me, you fucking mutant motherfucker.
We're gonna get you into this fucking episode.
You better fucking stop with these bits. These really funny bits. You better stop it.
Sauron's wrath will be terrible, his retribution swift. The battle for Helm's Deep is over. The battle for Middle Earth is about to begin.
They all look so hot. They have like post-war glow. The lighting is so nice. They're all
AWG.
together. They're like
It's
posing for a photo.
daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Post-war
What's his
high.
face? Eomer is back, which always, you know how I feel about that.
Mhm. Yep.
Stacey, did you have an Eomer poster or did
No,
you have Eomer
I
merch
did
of any
not
kind?
fully appreciate this man until I was much older.
You gotta watch The Boys. He's the lead in The
Oh.
Boys.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, if
very
you're a
good at-
Carl Urban fan, you'll love it. He's.
I
given
mean,
it-
I recently saw
Gandalf.
him in Thor Ragnarok and it didn't do anything for me. So
He's all right in that, but
his look in that is tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
in The Boys, he's much more human. Yeah, more like badass human.
Does he have a
Okay.
ponytail?
Okay.
Does he have a high
Yeah, if he's
half
not on a
pony?
horse in a field, I'm really not into it. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you guys.
How
You'll
many
like him.
movies like that exist with Carl Urban?
it's very
Oh, man.
Cockney, very what's up, cunts, kind of just
Okay.
all
Carl
yeah.
Urban and more westerns, I think, is what we're learning here.
We needed a side plot of just where he was for these past 5 days. You know what I mean? Like,
We need a Western franchise with Carl Urban. I think he could totally sustain that.
yeah.
Our final scene of the
Sorry.
Two Towers, we have them talking about the stories. I wonder if people will talk about this, years from now. Are they going to talk about, let's hear about Frodo in the Ring?
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
What
Sam
about
is
Samwise the
just-
Brave? I want
Just
to hear
doing
more about
straight
Sam.
improv right now. He's like, if I keep talking, maybe Frodo won't pull that sword on me.
Yeah.
Keep Frodo in a good mood at all costs.
Mhm. Yeah. What about Sam? I want to hear more about Sam. Oh, come on, Mr. Frodo. Oh, I was being serious. So was I.
Frodo.
Mike, your Elijah Wood impression is getting borderline offensive. What's going on?
We're not
you-
saying it's not accurate. What we're saying is
It's just getting, it's evolving as this
Um,
podcast continues. I just want to make sure that everything is okay with you
Everything's
and
great.
Frodo. Okay.
he was
never
like
better.
18 years old. Okay.
He
did the
was
best he could.
so young. So
we have a
bizarre.
fight with Smeagol versus Gollum, kind of talking things through, and Gollum wins out, easily convinces Smeagol that these two got to go. They got to die. But how best to do it? Because if they do it, it's a little risky. But
could let her.
yeah,
The way he says her.
she could do it.
Stacey, that's it. Her.
I nailed it.
We could let her do it.
We could let her do it.
Yes.
We could let her do it.
She could do it, and then we takes it once they're dead. And follow me, I know the way. And then we have the shots of Mount Doom. And it's not Orthanc. What's the other one? Barad-dûr? Barad-dûr.
Yeah, I can't
Mordor.
remember the other towers.
Dude, Mordor looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like Europe right now.
Hey, topical.
Yeah. Heat wave. They're
Heat
having a
wave.
heat wave. A tropical heat wave.
We're having a heat wave.
Not like
It's like
Europe.
100. It's like 100 degrees outside right now.
It's like here. Mordor's exactly like right here.
Guys,
Mordor is
Guys,
here.
go-
We are Mordor.
guys, go outside. It's not good.
They
No,
tell
it
me what to
sucks.
do.
Probably more the wildfires though in Europe right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
then that's bad.
All over.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Winners and losers. Losers, Europe for the
Yeah.
heat wave.
And winners, Peter Jackson for really a truly astounding last 50 minutes of this movie. He really,
Absolutely.
it's hard to nail a battle scene like this, have 1,000 different like irons in the fire, and they all came together so beautifully at the end of this. Like
Mhm.
the true winner, this is, I think, my favorite one, The Two Towers, and this was nailed. It was perfect,
Yeah.
except for the counting
Is that your
of Legolas. and
official
Pippin.
winner for this part?
Let me see if I can think of another one. Oh no, I have
Okay.
another one. I have another one.
Okay. Who's your? Well, actually, let's do losers then. Matt.
Loser. Happy to say it. Happy to see this guy back on the loser board. He's the worst. He's the whitest. He's your wizardest. Saruman, the shittiest. I don't know. Stinks. I don't like him. And it's great. Oh man, when he's so sad, when he sees the Ents coming, and he's so scatterbrained, and he can't even believe it, and his whole
Mhm.
place is getting destroyed and flooded. It's one of the most satisfying things we get from Saruman. So
Mhm.
screw you, Saruman. Bye bye.
Kelly.
So that was going to be mine. Unsurprisingly, I feel like Saruman's definitely like the most obvious loser of this 50 minutes. I'm gonna say my losers are the wives and kids. They just spent a lot of time underground, terrified. I imagine that whole situation sucked, especially when the Uruk-hai were like breaking into the fortress. So my loser are the wives and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor kids and wives. Yeah, definitely scariest moment probably had to have been the explosion of the wall. I can
Yeah,
only imagine
sure,
what that
that's-
sounded
yeah,
like
yeah,
down there.
And then at one point, someone ran in and was like, "Make for the mountains." You know what I mean?
Make
Like,
for the mountain
Ooh.
pass.
because they definitely told them to make for the mountains. So someone just barged in and was like, "Just go.
You gotta get the
There's a
fuck out.
This,
great-
this
yeah.
isn't looking good."
There's a great like 80-minute horror movie from just their perspective.
Yeah.
During Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Stacy.
Those were great picks. I'm gonna have to say Denethor because he lost a
His
mighty,
mighty
gift.
gift.
And Osgiliath is fallen again due to his second son. And I mean, he is nothing. He's nothing right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And they just found out about Baramore's death again like 6 days ago. So he's still reeling from that.
Yeah.
Big loser.
I'm going to go with Faramir as the loser here because all dude wants is to please his dad, and he gets the absolute perfect opportunity to get in good favor with his father, and is too good of a person to do it. He allows Frodo to leave, but it's going to leave him worse off with Denethor, possibly, as far as we know right now, lead to his death in as a result. So Faramir. Oh, and also Osgiliath is just fucking torn to pieces.
It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah. So he's just not having a great day, even though morally he has a win.
Yeah.
So winners, Stacy.
Sam. And I know that we didn't focus a lot on this. But again, I always come back to like, what is the most important thing here? And the most important thing is the ring and keeping Frodo safe and alive, and him like changing Faramir's mind, getting Frodo back to being grounded, like making amends with Smeagol. I think that he just really nails this last little bit in the movie. And it's hard to say that he doesn't really like keep the tide of the movie going here.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's- vote Sam.
100%. He saves the ring from being taken.
Yeah. And Frodo's losing it. And he's
Oh.
keeping Frodo grounded and like in his own, like keeping him like feeling like Frodo, which is a very huge task.
Frodo and Theoden can never be tasked with something together. They would just like eat their own
Frodo would have just
bodies.
started losing it. They'd have been like, what can we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Sam
let
really
him
is-
die.
Yeah.
We'll have our
Just
end
crying.
of trilogy awards when we talk about MVPs for the entire thing. But
Yeah.
Sam has definitely got to be
In that, yeah.
a four.
I mean-
four winner. Four. What is it?
Forerunner?
Foremost
Front runner.
front. There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, just give that to Samwise already. I don't.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Well, yeah.
W.
Cross that bridge when we
Uh,
get there.
Kelly.
Frodo is also in
winner.
that running, also for me.
Yeah.
True.
We'll discuss.
My winners for this are for a much less profound and narratively important reason, but Merry and Pippin are my winners.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say Shadowfax. I was like, here it comes.
Shadowfax the horse. No, Merry and Pippin, I think I think they had the coziest battle. They were like at a really good vantage point. They had like huge success getting Treebeard to summon the March of the Ents, and then at the end they were rewarded with Saruman's bounty, which I can only imagine was so awesome. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Merry and Pip.
They've
Yep.
been carried around for like the past few days. They threw
Oh,
some
yeah.
rocks. They got some pipe tobacco.
So psyched for them.
Yeah.
Good pick, Matt.
Yeah, a little bit of overlap here, maybe, but I'm going with the Ents and like
Yeah.
Treebeard and the Ents. Like, I mean, they take their vengeance, but they also crush us, strike a really brutal blow to the armies of evil and take down Sauron, and it's the best thing in the world. It's better than children being born. They're my winners. They're great. Fucking Ents. They're cool. They blow up a dam and we rejoice. It's great.
They take, I think, 0 casualties. No
I
casualties.
love
in
that line.
So good.
My winner was the Ents. I'm gonna pivot to the Rohirrim as
Mm.
the winners here. The Rohirrim who had been banished, well, Eomer and the Rohirrim. Ladies and gentlemen, Eomer and the Rohirrim. And they were banished and came back at the best time possible. Turned the tide and won the war. Won the battle for Helm's Deep.
And also, like, by extension, Gandalf for having like a plan that he stuck to the second and having it work so spectacularly.
Yeah, all they had to do was hold out. And
do you think he was standing back there for a long time with the Rohirrim, being like, "The sun's not up yet.
Not
just
yet.
Hang on.
We've been here for 2 hours, but we had to wait.
My uncle just came out on a horse. I have to go help him. Just like 1 more minute.
Yeah,
the lighting's not right yet."
And
he's so dramatic.
Any final thoughts on the Two Towers? We'll have more to discuss in our next episode, which is our Ringer Awards, where we'll have, best fight, grandest entrance, most dramatic, things along those lines. But any final thoughts before we call it a night?
Yeah, real quick. Did we see, just because I watched this like a week ago, did we see Eowyn at the end after the battle? She comes out, right? And she makes eye contact.
Aragorn.
Okay. Just making sure.
I was gonna say my backup winner was actually Faramir, Mike, and you gave him the loser. But I'm gonna say if you get the sign off from Samwise Gamgee as being of the highest quality,
you've shown your quality, sir.
There's no bigger win than that. And Samwise, being like, you're a good dude.
A moral win for sure.
I get what you're saying too. Like
Valhalla.
He lost, like his life was forfeit. Like he admitted it himself. I think that there's also something to be said there, though. Like he lost that, but he's like gaining a new sense of, like, he's not going to seek his father's approval as much. I know that we kind of don't see that in the third movie, but like could have gone that way.
Yeah. I had him listed on my as both winner and loser.
Ooh, so dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a very complicated person. That'll do it. That'll do it for our Two Towers Prime coverage. We'll have our final episode capping things off, which is the Ringer Awards, as I mentioned. But for now, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Matt. And thank you all for listening. Bye.
Bye.